Hello, my name is Jessica Ross. I'm here to discuss the final recommendations for my client, Catherine Campbell, to my senior partner. Catherine is wishing to start up her own small sole business as a primary school music teacher. I have had a session with her to determine some of the facts surrounding her business, and I have come to you with my final recommendations for her. First of all, she will need to register for her Australian business number. Catherine has no prior experience as a small business trader, so therefore she has come to me and inquired into some of the details surrounding starting up a small business. As per the Australian Business Register, Catherine is required to apply for an Australian business number. This application can be filled out on the Australian Business Register website. It is my recommendation that she apply for this ABN first up or straight away. She will not need to apply for a tax file number. She already has one, as she's currently also working at the local news agency. At the same time she applies for her ABN, she can also apply for her business name. Basically, all of it can be done online. At the same time she is applying for her business name and for her ABN, she can register for the goods and services tax. However, the goods and services tax is only required to be registered if a business is making at a minimum $75,000 per annum. Catherine is currently going to be charging $15 for group lessons and $20 for private lessons. She currently has 15 children signed up for the entire year, and in a school year there are 4 terms with approximately 10 weeks in each. So as a rough estimate, for $15 per lesson for 10 weeks, Catherine is expected to make only approximately $9,000 for the year. And as the goods and services tax is a minimum of $75,000, Catherine will therefore not need to register for the goods and services tax. However, I would mention that if Catherine's business does expand past the single primary school that she is enlisted to work for, and she's expected to meet the minimum of $75,000, I would recommend that she would need to therefore apply for the goods and services tax. But at this point in time, it is not recommended that she apply for it. In terms of her banking, Ms. Campbell has expressed that she would like to be receiving her payments via electronic funds transfers. As she's a sole trader, it is my recommendation that she has a separate account for all of her banking, for all of her funds that she's received, any funds that she will need to be transferring, any spendings that she will need to be doing for her business. Having this separate account that would be dedicated to her business, separate from her personal accounts, will make the accounting easier for her at the end of the year. And if she did decide to look into hiring an accountant to doing her tax at the end of financial year, it would make sorting through all that information a lot easier as well. As part of her business, Catherine may be required to look into buying or hiring music materials in order to teach the children. As she's a sole trader, all of her expenses will come out of her pocket. However, if keeping records such as receipts in a neat and organised filing system, these can then be used at the end of financial year and be claimed by Catherine as part of her business expenses. The Australian Taxation Office provides examples of filing systems that can be used to keep neat records if she would like to look into that. It is my recommendation that all of her expenses for her business be filed away, along with any receipts to be claimed at the end of financial year. If she does elect to choose an accountant for her tax at the end of the year, having these receipts filed away would greatly benefit her and be less of a fuss at the end of the year. As part of the Australian Taxation Office website online, they provide a lot of information and services. One of them is invoice preparation drafts. So if Catherine was looking to find an example of how to set up her tax invoices to bill her parents with, she could easily go onto this website. It's not too hard to find under the invoices section. I would recommend that she look at this section of the website as it's very helpful. And Catherine will need to keep a record of all of her motor vehicle expenses. She doesn't have any other type of vehicle transport other than her own vehicle that she currently owns. According to the Taxation Office website, there are 4 ways of calculating fuel expenses. However, I would only recommend 2 options to Catherine. Both of these options are really simple, really easy to follow, and would not cause any confusion. The first one is that Catherine keeps all of her fuel receipts for the year, and at the end of financial year, her accountant could work out the cents per litre based on how much she would be driving, how much she would be using her car for her business. The second option that she could use is starting up her own logbook. This would require her to put in the date she started to drive, the beginning speedometer and the end speedometer for each time that she travelled to and from a place for her business. Either of these approaches are easy enough to use. I would recommend either of them to her. It would basically just depend on which one she would be comfortable with using. I would then discuss business insurance. Business insurance is obviously an important requirement of any new business. It protects the owner from potential risks to the business. And because Miss Campbell is her own business, it would be highly recommended that she look into suitable insurance. As she is a primary school music teacher, the business that she's looking into starting up, potential risks could include instrument damage, either of her own or of another student, damaging another student's instrument, personal injury to herself, or the injury of a child whilst in her care. It is my recommendation that Miss Campbell has a look into a few insurance companies before making a final decision, as it will depend on how much she can afford to spend on her insurance and exactly what the insurance company will be willing to cover. And finally, as part of working with children, you are required to hold a blue card. It is my recommendation that Miss Campbell go onto the Queensland Government Blue Card Services website. They have a section there for filling out applications for getting a blue card. I would recommend that she get her blue card as soon as she can, as the school will require her to give evidence of her holding a blue card before she's allowed to start teaching with the children. Thank you.